So this time we're going to tackle the wildlife pond that we made in the little kids garden. I wasn't entirely happy with how we left it, which was this after our last session. It was quite steep still. There was not much really going on. I think there was a lot of liner left over that we needed to trim back. We did get some of these willow in around. So the plan was that we were going to cut down the singing nettles, obviously, because we didn't want those near the kids. Don't mind them for the wildlife. Then we were going to extend this bit, which is the willow, around here, like increasing that kind of secret-y garden feel, which, yeah, should be quite easy, but we've still got a bit of willow to do. The rest of stuff we were going to do was build a garden in there with them. So we've got these nice logs in which were inoculated with mushrooms, which was cool. Yeah, so I was gonna start my plan. Then I got distracted because I found this little mousey nest underneath one of the flower pots. I don't think there's anyone in there, but I thought I'd check it out a little bit, just to check. Spoiler alert, there was nothing in it, but apparently I just had to poke around with a stick. Probably don't do that. That's probably not a very good idea. If someone was in there, I was really disturbing them, but I just put the pot back on and moved on with my day. There you go. And then in the orchard we found this, which is like a brown tail moth sort of caterpillar tent thing. They are super cute, I thought. They're like teeny tiny, but they still had all these colours and yeah, structure. They were so cute. But we did have to move them because they were on the fruit trees in the orchard and they will eat them. So they are a pest in an orchard. So I just moved them. There were some fruit trees up in the wildflower meadow that I'm not as fussed about, so we moved them up there. Also, then they'd be away from people because they are the ones that will irritate your skin if you touch them, but just don't touch them. And then I also found this really big spider. It doesn't look as big now, but at the time it looked huge. So yeah. Then that was it. We got to mowing, so enjoy the mowing sound, I guess. Then I just moved on to trying to get rid of that really steep bank into there, because if anything does fall in, it would have been really hard for it to get out. So all I did was just peel back the liner and just start scraping bits out to make it shallower, to make it less steep. And also so that the water, because the other side of the pond was lower than this side, which meant that this side never really got any water in it anyway. So it's kind of pointless really, because the water would just all leak out of the other side before it even filled up that side, which was annoying. So yeah, I cut the liner back because it was filled with some water, so I could see where it was going to sit. And then I was just digging it up and then covering it back over so that I could eventually seed some stuff over the top and it would green over, which, well, we're still waiting for that to fully green back over, but eventually I'll be able to show you it looking much, much better. At this point as well, the ducks just kept going in, so the water is like a really nice shade of green in the background. They have seemed to have stopped at the moment, luckily, so fingers crossed. Oh, and then that's just a marsh marigold in the background too that I got out of the other pond. I just transferred it over. That was the only thing I had, and then I went and bought some more pond plants, which we'll see in a bit. Not sure how long this goes on for. So then I moved on to doing the extra little willowy hidden gardeny bit. So just the same as before, I went and cut down a load of nice bits. I don't expect this to live. This is a really dry bit, so I don't think the willow's going to take. It might, but I don't think it will. So I'm just like making pilot holes because the ground is so stiff here. Stiff, hard, dry. It's like concrete basically. So I just had like a bit of rebar that I had in a little mallet, and then just banging in the holes and then just sliding the willow into them. So this is kind of where we ended up. You can see it looks much better in terms of the slant. We've got the willow there. It looks alive at the moment. I don't think it's going to last. And we managed to give it a good mow. So then the final thing was that I was just going to seed it with this sort of clover seed mix, hoping that mostly it would be clover that would come round. You'll see by the last clip that I've got of how it looks now. Clearly where I walked, I made myself like a weird non-seeded path, but hey ho. Ooh. Got a load of stuff stuck to my shoe and almost fell over. Maybe a follow would have been better. You can see how green that water is. The ducks really did number. And then I had a few pond plants that I got, some native pond plants. You have to be really careful when you go into these shops because they do not have a lot of native pond plants at all. And I once was told that the reason that they don't sell them is because they don't want them to get out into the wild and run amok. And I was like, pretty sure you've got that backwards. Anyway, so this is a ragged robin that I got, which is cute. There was also the water forget-me-nots. There was some water mint. Maybe I should just say it as they come out because I am showing you them. Yeah. Which I think there was already quite a lot of anyway in this pond, so I think there's a bit left over. I've got the lesser spearwort there as well. I tried to split some of that up and take some of that as well from my other pond, but well, I did that with quite a lot of these plants and I don't think really any of them have lived, which is a shame. And there you go, water forget-me-not. So those were the only ones they had that were native. Well, I think they had marsh marigold. There you go, that's me splitting them up, and I was going to go and plant them in the big pond, which I did, but yeah, most of them haven't survived. So yeah, that's how I left it, and I was pretty happy. We seeded all in there as well. it's been a few weeks since the other stuff that I've done, and I've seeded and I've planted the plants into the pond, so I thought we could have a little look at what it's looking like now. This is trying to stop the ducks from going in. So, as you can see, there is actually a little diving beetle in there. So we have got life in the pond. The plants are growing. We've also got the clover that we seeded is actually coming up. We've also got lots of self-seeded fat hen, which is this guy. So I'll need to try and get some of that out at some point, but it's really quite well hidden in there. Got a weird little non-seeded path. I guess it's been a bit walked on. Maybe you can see it's a bit shallow where the line is coming through, so that could be another reason. But I'm pretty happy with it. It's cleared up really well from the ducks constantly being in there, and there is life in there. Actually quite a bit of life. I don't know if you can see. Let's see if we can get it. There you go, look. Little diving beetles. So yeah, walk gently on this, try and not cause any more damage. The little patch that we seeded because we obviously dug all this out and made quite a mess. So seeded that with some clover as well. We've also got some snapdragons dotted in. Boop. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm happy with this as it is. I'll keep updating as it matures. But for now, it's looking pretty cute. And there's life in it, so that's something. And the whole idea was like this was a little bit more secret because it's the kids' garden now. So we're gonna hopefully try and put some more of this sort of dead hedging, dead hedge screening, dead screen, don't know, woody screen. So we'll see how that looks. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. It's much nicer. And then these are just some clips of me walking through the little hidden entrance and exit way into the meadow or the garden, and what the kids have done with their little patch of garden too. Cool. Right, see you later.